Jasmine from the library, and today we're here at SAFCOL to see their production and how they relate to Science Week this year, which is Food Different by Design. Come, let's have a look at their production and see what they do, because it's more than just fish. So Kieran, thank you very much for showing us your production and factory here at Elizabeth South today at SAFCOL. Can you tell us a little bit about your role here?
I'm the operations manager here. I've been here for 4 years in this job role specifically. My main job is to look after the factory and the people. So I take care of procurement, operations, technical functions, and just make sure things run smoothly.
Okay, and can you tell us about the history of SAFCOL, especially here at your Elizabeth site?
Yeah, look, SAFCOL was founded in 1945 by a group of South Australian fishermen. It was the first of its kind back then. They sold the catch. Since then, we've sort of grown exponentially into a whole different range of areas. There's three main divisions of SAFCOL. We've got the retail division, SAFCOL Australia, which is the products everyone associates us with, so salmon, tuna, pet food. We've got a fish market down at Mile End, so that effectively works as a broker for fresh fish, and that's been around since the 40s. And then you've got the factory here in Elizabeth, which works as a contract packer. So that's probably the area most people don't know us for. It's the area where we're growing on the back of.
So a lot of people think, when they think of SAFCOL fish, but they don't know that at Elizabeth you make all of the soups and custards, baby foods and stocks.
No, look, we do, and a lot of that is down to innovation. So the factory here in Elizabeth started with canned abalone and canned salmon. We actually still do canned abalone to this day for the export market, so we sell to Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia and countries like that. But we've had to diversify to become competitive. So on the back of that, we always had the can seam and the can line, so it was how can we use our current knowledge and expertise to grow and expand. And that sort of developed the can line, so we now sort of got a monopoly on tomato soups. We do diced tomatoes and predominantly all Australian made, Australian branded products, which is fantastic. We then got approached 8 years ago from a contract packer wanting to do spouted pouches. And from there, that's sort of grown this business to a place that we didn't even think was possible. So we're now the biggest manufacturer of baby food in Australia, which is something we're incredibly proud of. And we continue to grow this today.
Yeah, so with that in mind, how has production changed in the last few years here at SAFCOL?
Look, we've again had to diversify and expand. And to do that, we've had to be competitive. So the way we've been competitive is to invest heavily in automation. So, to compete with the Asian market and places like that, you really need to be cost competitive. And to do that in Australia, you really need to have a fluent, almost bespoke system, which is exactly what we've done. So we've invested heavily in automation, especially in the packer area. So you guys are taking videos of machines.
Yeah.
But what that's allowed us to do is reduce labour in certain areas whilst increasing in other places. So as we grow, we're indirectly creating jobs through extra apple puree coming out of New South Wales, for example. Tomato paste comes out of Victoria. We do cauliflower rice, which is just down the road at Virginia. So directly and indirectly, we've increased our workforce exponentially.
Yes, amazingly, yes. So with that in mind, how has your technology and production changed with the focus on STEM and specifically science and technology?
Yeah, look, technology has been critical for us. Reason being is all the machines we now have are state of the art. They're brand new. They're using technologies that probably weren't around 10, 15 years ago. The case packer, for example, that's come out of Italy is 18 months old. It's the only one in the world like it. We've developed it with the technicians out of Faenza in Italy. And without using that technology, we wouldn't be in the place we are. We wouldn't be competitive, not only with our competitors locally, but in the likes of Asia and places where labour costs are significantly reduced compared to what we're competing with.
And how has those developments actually affected your role and what you do day to day?
Look, I'm a man of many hats. I've had to be over the last probably 4 years. I actually went to Italy 2 years ago to help, not specifically design the machine, but just make sure it was fit for purpose for what we wanted to do. But a big part of my role is making sure that we're producing product at cost. And to do that, we really need everything running efficiently. So a big part of that is our maintenance system, preventative maintenance. It's working with our engineers to sort of not only upskill our operators, but make sure the machines are running 24/7 without any issues. So I sort of oversee that and sort of make sure it all happens the way it needs to happen.
Cool, yes, you do a very good job. Okay, so this is a big question. So sustainable food production has changed significantly in the last few years. On your website, you promote yourself as being a carbon neutral company. How does that affect the day-to-day on the ground operations?
Look, I saw you guys take videos of the warehouses. So the warehouses have solar panels on the top. Those solar panels 100% generate all the electricity and energy for this factory. So we're quite proud that 100% powered by the sun here. So that's a big part of our sustainability project. The other one was we got a government grant around recycling and renewables. So we replaced a couple of our overpressure cooking vessels because the ones we had in place were 40 years old, and whilst they were operating, they weren't operating efficiently. So a lot of the wastage in terms of water and energy was going straight to ground, and we couldn't recycle that in any way, shape or form. The new units we have are 100% recyclable, so it's not only significantly reduced our costs, but it reduces our footprint on the back of it. And again, it's something that the business is incredibly proud of, and it's something that we continue to look and strive for. Unfortunately, a lot of the packaging we use on the back of the way we process and the way we need to process aren't always recyclable, but we're working with packaging suppliers every day to create basically a brand new product that is 100% recyclable, 100%,
Good to know. And you mentioned before that you received a grant recently to change your production to be more renewable and sustainable. And you were also saying that the Stretton Centre helped a little bit in making that happen. Can you talk about the Stretton Centre and their involvement in that?
Look, they were fantastic. So up until that point, we've never actually been given a government grant in any way, shape or form. And it wasn't through lack of effort, it wasn't through lack of trying. But we didn't have those connections, we didn't have the experience or expertise to know how to write the government grants, to know what to look for, to know what to advertise. All the right things were being done, but you need to be able to sell yourself to be able to have those sort of things. So the Stretton Centre in particular was a big resource to help us put together a proposal that was successful. Without them, I'm confident we wouldn't have been successful.
Great, and for library customers wondering what the Stretton Centre does, this is what they do. Yes, great work.
Yeah, help local manufacturers is fantastic.
Okay, another big question for you. The STEM and STEAM industries are set to have 1.9 million staff by 2024, which isn't a long way away. How do you, what does SAFCOL have to offer in terms of training and supporting people coming into the food industry?
For sure. Look, I look at myself as a perfect example. I started as a QC on the factory floor in a very much an entry-level position into the food industry. And now I'm running the factory that I started in. A lot of that is on-the-job training. There's external training on offer. CSRO out of Werribee are a fantastic resource. They do a lot of technical and thermal processing training. But outside the food industry, we've got a maintenance department that has electricians, that has fitters and turners, that has fully qualified engineers. So you don't need a food science degree, so to speak, to be part of the team. There's a really diversified workforce out there, right through from production to procurement, logistics, you name it, the opportunities are endless.
And there's a lot of ladies, which is good to see.
Look, we've got an incredibly diverse workforce in terms of sex, race, and everything. And again, it's something we're incredibly proud of. And the team, second to none, is the best team we've had. So it's a full credit to the people out there. They've done a fantastic job.
Definitely. And if you're wondering what Jasmine from the library is doing here at SAFCOL, is to promote Science Week. So Science Week this year for 2021 is all themed around food and how it's different by design. Can you talk about how important science is, especially for younger people, and why highlighting this within Science Week is really important?
Look, 100%. You know, a lot of what goes into food is scientific. You know, nutrition as a whole is scientific. You know, proteins, carbohydrates, fats. There's a lot of science that goes behind it in terms of the amount of energy that they produce, and you know, weight loss is a huge trend at the moment. And you know, there's a food scientist behind everything that's been designed to make sure that they're fit and healthy for everyone. So there is a lot of possibilities in that space.
And do you have any tips for Playford residents who want to get into this industry, or science and technology, or food science in general?
Oh look, go for it, to be honest. I think the food industry in particular is crying out for good operators across the board, and you don't need a food background, so to speak, to enter into it. But speaking to local manufacturers and even manufacturers in the UK, everyone's looking for good people. So those who are willing to work hard, put in and learn every day, the opportunities are endless. You know, here, I'm still learning every day. I've been here for a number of years and no day is the same. Every day is different, which I love. And you know, food's not restricted to just one product type. You know, you've got beverages, so you've got breweries, you've got wineries, you've got soft drinks, you've got water. There's a lot of things to learn, there's a lot of jobs out there and a lot of possibilities for people who really want to go out there and extend their career and expand.
Yes, well thank you very much, Kieran, for showing us around the factory today. And if you would like to have any more support or any more advice about gaining a career in STEM specifically, you can come along to our next career workshop, which is on Friday, the 20th of August, which is really going to talk about how to update your cover letter, your resume, and how to develop those interview techniques for STEM roles. Thank you very much.
Thank you.